5 Ancient Masculine Rules for Life. The modern world has provided you with security, comfort, and care throughout your life, and we all aspire to have these things. Now pay close attention to what I'm about to tell you. Security is what our ancestors fought and died for. They gave their lives in exchange for necessities like comfort and freedom, but anything consumed in excess was poison. Hear that again. Overindulging in anything is poison, even if it is good for you. The same is true for your security and comfort. As the saying goes, strong men create hard times create weak men, and weak men ultimately create strong men. From one generation to the next, the cycle keeps going. You, my brother, are fortunate to live in these times. Everything is within reach. Everything has been made so simple that vulnerability is at an all-time high. The sad but true truth is that sacrifice will always be your best friend as a man. As a man, it doesn't matter if you're experiencing good or bad times. One of the most important ancient masculine principles you will learn today is the duty to sacrifice. Having said that, here are the 5 archaic, forgotten standards for masculinity that you must also abide by if you want to live a happier and healthier life. Rule number 1. You must exercise discipline. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Men and boys are distinguished by their sense of discipline. In fact, according to the Bible, a man without self-control is like a city that has been broken into, but has no walls left. No matter what internet help gurus claim, there is no magic method or 2-second rule that will instantly turn you into a fantastic person. Discipline is the first step. Discipline is an internal fire that drives you to get up when you have no reason to, and is the voice that reminds you to finish that last rep even when you want to stop. Because they were well aware of this, our ancestors put forth daily labor and hardship. Think about the Spartans, for instance. They were among the most feared armies of their time, yet they could only be effective when they trained hard and engaged in orderly combat. Sparta weakened and eventually vanished because they allowed the unhealthy fixation with wealth, food, and luxury to take hold. Your life is the same way. No matter how long you've spent working on yourself, all your progress can be undone with a flick of your discipline's armor or a hole in the door. Being powerful comes in as rule number 2. Would you say that the average man in today's world is strong in any way? I doubt it. That is due to the constant social intimidation that males like me are subjected to. You may have even seen the popular video where a man claims that males are supposed to be subordinate, while a slim kid claims that no one wants to see a man's muscles. In addition to this, consider any recent movies with fathers as main characters. Every time, these fathers are depicted as very shy and meek people who depend on their spouses and kids to make decisions for them. Always keep in mind that they are trying to persuade you to become weak, not just physically, but mentally and spiritually as well. Those 1% of people who do have the guts to challenge this way of thinking are quickly silenced based on fabricated reports. They try to convince you that speaking up for the truth is pointless, but remember that it is preferable to stand and pass away than to remain forever on your knees. Train your body and mind so that you can handle any obstacle the world presents to you. Our forefathers would go to battle, fight for their lives, and do it all with stern clarity of thought. Do not be afraid to tell the truth or take action based on it, even if it results in your death, especially if you are the last person in the world to do so. Rule number 3 is that you have to be helpful. The way they coddle us into thinking that being a contented servant is truly a great way to live life is another illustration of the terrible societal manipulation that causes us to forget about these important laws. If you look closely at men in the past, they had to constantly improve their talents. To add value to their community and get a chance at life, they would hone their trade. They were farmers, blacksmiths, hunters, you name it. Start by learning valuable contemporary talents if you want to make yourself as helpful as a man from the past. Providing goods or services that are valuable and helpful to your clients, children, church, community, and most importantly, God Almighty, is essentially the premise behind every business. The 4th rule is to keep your curiosity alive. Now, consider all the things you currently take for granted, such as engines, lights, cars, and other things. All of these things were first imagined by a curious mind, and the modern age often ignores this instinctive human desire for invention and discovery. The only goal that has propelled our race to conquer the land, the sea, and the sky, and to continue evolving is the urge for invention in men. Because of our ancestors' desire for constant discovery, we today rule the animal kingdom. That is precisely the reason you need to rekindle your interest and assume your original position as an innovator. Let me remind you of all the amazing accomplishments of those who came before you if you believe you lack the necessary skills to accomplish them. Einstein was once an unknown person. The creator of penicillin, Alexander Fleming, had no prior experience. Of course, this doesn't mean you have to think of a means to get us back to the moon, but you should use your curiosity to understand how to solve problems and concerns that affect you, your family, and your friends to reactivate all our buried potentials. And now, the 5th and last rule is to show gratitude. Gratitude is a notion that stands shoulder to shoulder with having a purpose, and it is said to be the single biggest factor that keeps a man alive. Purpose gives you hope for the future, but gratitude makes you proud of the past. And that's exactly what you need to advance even more quickly. So keep in mind, brothers, that these 5 traditional precepts from long ago enabled our forefathers to lead fruitful lives as men. Utilize them, treasure them, and see how you develop as a man.